And we talk about the best ways for you to stay safe on the road in the event of flooding.
Plus, we talk about how anomalously warm waters in the North Atlantic Ocean could potentially affect hurricane season.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And thank you for staying with us for First Alert Weather Extra, joined by meteorologist Tania Michelle and Lauren Linehan. And both of you guys were checking out the forecast earlier today. Could you notice that the data today regarding Friday, we're looking at a greater risk for some storms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not what we want to see trending that way. I still think generally it could end up being a low-end threat for our area, but it's something we want to keep an eye on. We want to watch these trends over the next 48 hours.
Yeah, we certainly do. Let's talk about it because we have declared a First Alert Weather Day, and that's the next big thing. And here's what we're looking at here. Friday from about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and this will continue through the overnight and into Saturday morning. During this time, we're going to have some heavier rainfall and the possibility of some storms. The greatest impacts where? Areas to the south. That's where we'll really have to be alert for that threat of isolated tornado and also the possibility of some localized flash flooding. So we get a lot of storms that set up to the south, and we mentioned this earlier in the week, that a lot of times they can kind of cut off what happens further north. But this is one of the models that really grabbed my attention today looking at some of the data. You can tell how it's kind of trended a bit further north, looking at that spin and instability. And this time of the year, right now we're looking at some warmer than average conditions, and the way this comes in later on Friday, it's going to be a little bit warmer as some of those storms start to move into the state. So we'll have to watch it. I think the instability is going to actually be a factor here across parts of the area. So you can see south of I-20, we'll have to watch this area, and this is kind of where I placed our own severe weather outlook here. You can see for Friday and into Saturday, we'll have to watch it here around Clanton, Centerville and Point South, down towards Utah, Forkland, Sylacauga, Alexander City there for that risk of a isolated tornado and also some locally heavy rainfall Friday night and into early on Saturday. No heavy rain at the moment. Temperature-wise, it's feeling pretty good across West Alabama. We're 68 right now in Tuscaloosa. Here at Gadsden, we're down to 60 and seeing 56 at Center here in Cherokee County. So it is noticeably cooler out there. We've had a north flow really help to bring some nice clearing for today. And what's going to happen here tonight, we'll see those low temperatures take the tumble into the low 50s and even some upper 40s, I think, for parts of Etowah and Blount counties, areas to the north of Adiana. A good chance in the morning. We could see a few upper 40s. So plan for that chill early tomorrow morning if you're out and about early. And another thing we're going to have to watch out for overnight is the possibility of some patchy fog. Here's a look at our latest visibility forecast, and just want to show you here. You go past midnight, see that? Start to see a little bit of fog development. Models picking up on some of that across parts of East Alabama, perhaps around the Coleman area. So just watch out early in the morning. Check in with Matt and Mickey and see where we have some of that foggy weather out there. And we'll talk about when to expect that heavier rainfall on Friday, timing that out for you coming up in First Alert Weather.
And while we have issued a First Alert Weather Day for the possibility of some strong to severe storms and a flooding threat on Friday, we want to bring you a further explanation on why we declare First Alert Weather Days in the first place and how the key is to keep you safe.
We get to enjoy some beautiful days here in the state of Alabama, but as we know, the weather around here can change quickly with a variety of impactful weather conditions. That is why the WBRC First Alert Weather Team declares First Alert Weather Days. First Alert Weather Days are for weather conditions that threaten your safety and property, but also for weather conditions that impact your plans. When WBRC declares a First Alert Weather Day, the entire news operation becomes an extension of the First Alert Weather Team. This further increases resources to ensure that you are most informed. Plus, with the largest weather team in the Southeast and the most advanced tools and technology, we're able to provide the most detail and precision for any potential threats a First Alert Weather Day may bring. First Alert Weather Days may include the threat for severe storms and tornadoes, but it could be high winds in general, along with the threat for flash flooding and heavy rainfall. There are also the threats of winter weather and extreme cold, and the major changes to extreme heat during the summer. Sometimes a First Alert Weather Day will be declared for impacts to visibility and air quality or weather conditions that may lead to a very high fire danger. When we declare a First Alert Weather Day, you will know. Look for notifications on our social media channels and digital platforms, along with notifications and WBRC programming throughout the day, in addition to WBRC Fox 6 News. Stay informed, stay weather ready, and always prepared by checking in with your First Alert weather team. You can learn more about the First Alert Weather Day by visiting WBRC.com.
Well, with a first alert for potential flooding in the forecast on Friday, meteorologists Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson give us some driving tips for navigating wet roads.
Hey, we're matching today.
We are.
How about that?
Wednesday, we just do that kind of thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, you know what's also crazy? All the rain that we've been seeing.
Oh, I know it. In March, you know, it's beginning of spring for us, and it's really come in with the rain, especially this event on Friday.
That's right. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about Friday and prepare for Friday, just in case we get a lot of rain. Now, this is not the Storm Prediction Center's severe outlook. This is another graphic showing excessive rain.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing green, it's a low risk to see a lot of rain. So this is a risk for flash flooding within 25 miles of a point. So notice a good bit of our state in yellow. That's a small risk. At least 15% of the state has a risk of flash flooding. So it's a little bit of an enhancement, but not quite at that moderate or high stage. So when you start seeing reds and purples, there's a good likelihood we're going to see some flooding. So we're going to be monitoring this forecast as we get closer into Friday. But let's do some preparations for that.
Yeah, even with that, you know, the roads you travel by, there's some areas of the roadway that are more prone to have hydroplaning or flooding issues. And just want to make sure you're going to be careful with this scenario as we get into Friday.
Yeah, so, you know, when it comes to driving in the rain, obviously the roads get slick, but hydroplaning is always a big concern. This will be a big concern for us Friday evening, I believe, maybe even into Saturday morning. But of course, when you got dry roads, the tires make contact with the road at all times, good traction, don't have to worry about slipping and sliding.
You know, when I was a younger guy, a younger driver, the only accident or accidents I ever had was in the rain because I was going at the same speed and didn't think about it, and I hydroplaned and hit a curb and had some damage.
Speaking of those hydroplaning speeds, of course, we always say slow down. So when you slow down, you get the least amount of water return.
Yeah, that water wraps around your wheel, especially in high speeds, and isn't allowed to, you know, funnel off your tire. So it returns to the underside of the tire, and that's when you have the hydroplaning issues.
Yeah, and then when you get into those moderate speeds, that water return to the underside of the tire is almost covering it up completely, and you're starting to see less road contact because that water is right between the surface and that wheel, and so it starts getting a little bit slippery. And when you start speeding up and you're at faster speeds, that's when that hydroplane threat is pretty significant.
So we need to slow it down.
Slow it down
Slow
for
it
Friday
down.
evening, Friday night.
Well, Matt and Mickey, Alabama isn't the only one with rain in the forecast. Other parts of the world have also been dealing with abnormally wet weather, meaning, get this, chocolate prices could soon be on the rise yet again. Cacao farmers in Ghana and the Ivory Coast say the region's rainy weather has caused fungal diseases to spread through their crops. So they predict a poor harvest for the cocoa season ending this month, likely pushing cocoa prices to all-time highs. And even though farmers are seeking solutions to the problems, the disrupted supply will likely still cause significant impacts on the international chocolate market.
And starting this weekend, you'll be able to get more daylight, but lose that hour of sleep. Daylight saving time is about to take effect, and the push continues in Congress to make it permanent. WBRC talked to Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville today about the Sunshine Protection Act that would make daylight saving time permanent at the federal level. 19 states, including Alabama, have passed the Sunshine Act, but need Congress to pass the law before the state laws can actually go into effect.
You know, studies have proven that daylight saving time has many significant health benefits. The extra daylight in the evening can encourage people to be more active and spend more time outdoors, which can lead to better health and well-being. It's time for America to move forward and stop falling back.
Daylight saving time begins this Sunday. That's March 10th at 2 a.m. Don't forget to change those clocks forward. We'll have more updates on your forecast and a look at that rain possibility as we approach the weekend in Weather, or not Weather Every 6, right here after the break. Welcome back in. We have a look at that muggy meter because, yes, we're tracking the possibility for rain and storms Friday and into your Saturday. We have declared it first alert weather day, but let's talk about that humid air that's going to build in by that time. So here we are pushing into our Friday and into our Saturday. We start to see more of this wet, moist air building in from the south, and that's going to spark up some of those stronger storms, especially across South Alabama and South Central Alabama. But the good news is, as we approach Sunday, behind that front and low pressure system, well, we have drier and also cooler air. That means we could see some frost by Monday morning, but at least no storms in our forecast for the start of next week. As of Tuesday, temperatures across the North Atlantic Ocean broke daily record highs every day for a year straight. That's according to researchers at the University of Miami, who say this is significant because of the impact to marine ecosystems, extreme weather, and the upcoming hurricane season. Experts say current ocean temperatures are already typical of these in early summer, which will likely give the hurricane season a boost. Marine heat waves have been known to alter weather patterns across the globe, from precipitation to extreme heat.
So imagine this, the Arctic Ocean with no ice. Scientists are saying it could actually happen fairly soon. A new study says the ocean could start seeing its first ice-free days before 2030, which is defined as less than 380,000 square miles of ice. Scientists say that these conditions could also persist through the entire month of September as soon as 2035. And it could remain ice-free most of the year from May through January by the year 2100. This comes as we've already seen warmer ocean temperatures, as Tania was just talking about, and those have actually devastated the snow crab population. But we are now in meteorological spring. We haven't quite reached astronomical spring yet, but we have in some new data from our friends at Climate Central showing how spring seasons in general are warming across the U.S., and that does include us here in Alabama. Overall, there's warming, just like when we look at global temperatures. Parts of the world can be getting cooler, but you have to look at things at a whole, the average. And so even as we look here across the U.S., you can see in parts of the northern Great Plains, there has been some cooler springs, and this is looking at a data set since 1970. But you can see here in central Alabama, we're actually one of the spots that have been experiencing a warmer spring season. And when we say spring season, we're talking about meteorological spring. So that's looking at data from March, April, and May. And this is showing that here in the Birmingham area, the average temperature in the spring months from that 3-month period has gone up over 3.5 degrees. And remember, this is looking at the average. So we're talking on each day, the average between the morning low and the morning high. So there has generally been a rise over the past 50 years. And then as far as actual days in the spring that run warmer than average, on average now, we see that spring seasons have about 19 more days here in the Birmingham area that run warmer than average. Okay, cool. What does that mean? Well, that means we can have longer allergy and sinus seasons. So you can see pollen coming in earlier in the year. If you have a trend where we're moving towards spring coming in earlier, your winters get shorter, your springs get longer. Or you can see a situation in areas out west or farther northern locations where there's less snow. And so you don't have that snow melt that is so vital to water resources. So it can certainly have an impact on our day-to-day lives, and we'll always cover that here on Weather Extra. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the forecast for your Friday, that first alert weather day, and take you beyond the 7-day. We'll be right back. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Well, it's okay, but I am glad that the map was meaningful to you.
It looked great with your dress.
Thanks.
Too.
Oh, thanks. I think it's really cool data.
Welcome back into Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt out there tonight. We're going to stay dry. There's going to be some areas of fog developing. Right now we're down to 60 here at Gadsden, western part of the state, 68 in Tuscaloosa, 71 here at Utah, Birmingham at 65, and also feeling those mid-60s around Jemison and Thorsby areas to the south. You can see that's lining up nicely with the forecast data. So when we take it from here and look at the next 24 hours and the next big thing, we got some heavier rain coming back by Friday afternoon. And we have declared a first alert weather day, but I want to show you tomorrow morning. It's going to be chilly to start off. We're going to see low 50s and upper 40s, but it won't take long. Notice by 9 a.m. we're already seeing those 60s coming back. We'll start out with some patchy fog again. That's going to give way to another good supply of sunshine for tomorrow. It's actually going to turn out to be a beautiful day tomorrow. Totally wouldn't surprise me if we touched 80 degrees in parts of West Alabama. That certainly could happen. I'm not seeing wet weather for tomorrow. We did remove that chance for isolated afternoon showers. It looks like we stay dry through tomorrow night. There's 10 p.m. Thursday. More clouds moving in, and notice milder for tomorrow night. But here it comes on Friday. We actually start the day dry. So if you need to wrap up a big project there Friday morning, I think during the first part of the day, we're going to see that wet weather hold off until we get into the afternoon. And that's why we did declare a first alert weather day from roughly 5 o'clock Friday through 9 a.m. on Saturday, because that's kind of the window when we could start to see some of these heavier pockets of rain and possibly a severe storm, especially for areas to the south. Just looking at this, looks like Friday night, rainy weather, some rumbles of thunder. There's 8:30 p.m. and you can see a good coverage of rain showers and storms. And then we get into the early Saturday morning time frame, and we start to see the back part of this system moving on through. Some of this is going to be around as late as 7, 8 o'clock there Saturday morning, but that's about it. For the rest of the day, we'll have some quick improvements. So if you have plans, a baseball game, birthday party, event planned for Saturday, early morning, need to be alert for the possibility of some wet weather, but for the afternoon, we will see some improvements. And then the colder air is going to take over as temperatures drop into the 40s Saturday night and into early on Sunday. But right now, this is where we're thinking the greatest risk for strong to severe storms would set up there. Need to watch it to the far south for an isolated tornado threat, but do check in just in case this trends a bit further north. I know Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk across a good part of the state, but the greatest severe weather ingredients that we're seeing those areas there off to the south based on the latest data. But we'll be watching it, and certainly, you know, even if we don't see a severe thunderstorm, there could be some localized flooding. You can see the models really locking in on these areas to the south here, especially around Clay County. Look at that, showing 4 inches of rain possible by Saturday evening. With that kind of rain, there certainly could be some trouble spots with respect to flooding. But again, we're going to get this out here early on Saturday. Rest of the weekend, a little bit cooler, 42 Sunday morning, 62 on Sunday. Next week there, around 36 degrees Monday morning. There could be some patchy frost in parts of the area, so giving you that first alert there early on Monday. Well, let's head to Shelby County. How about another school visit today? Yeah, I had a great time. I want to share some photos from my visit today to Helena Elementary School. It's Read Across America. Of course, we talked about reading, and of course, I had to take the guitar there, you know, and play some songs. We talked about even reading music. It was a lot of fun out there today, and talked to a lot of science, and I want to thank Miss Egan, Porian, Jordan, Miss Toth, and Frings and Meadows for having me there. A lot of first graders, you can see, and all smiles, Tania, as we read, and really excited about Read Across America Week. A lot of volunteers all throughout our community. A big shout out to all of you that have participated this week to read to the students. I know they have certainly enjoyed it. We've been reading a lot of weather data today, Tania, and you know, one of the things that we've talked about this setup on Friday is just a little too close there to those southern areas. We really need to pay close attention, and plus this time of year, you got to watch those systems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, we start to see those 70s by the afternoon, those warm temperatures, this hot and muggy air.
Exactly.
So we have to pay attention for our southern counties across central Alabama. But let's go beyond the 7-day. I do want to remind you just briefly that we have declared your Friday into your Saturday morning a first alert weather day for that possibility possibility of an isolated tornado, mainly for our southern counties and counties further south of us. But notice that we're dry by Sunday and through majority of next week. But the end of next week, well, there's another possibility of some showers, but also some storms in our forecast. That's Friday, March the 15th and Saturday, March the 16th. As far as could there be any severe storms, you'd have to keep checking in. We can give you updates on that. But there is a storm chance. We're looking dry Sunday. That's March the 17th, my birthday, and also St. Patrick's Day. And we're looking dry for the third week of March, or fourth week, I should say. That's March 18th through the 20th as we bring in the first day of spring. But you know, we love to take you beyond the 7-day. Just keep in mind that things beyond the 7-day can and possibly will change. There's always updates happening in our forecast, so make sure you keep checking in for those forecast updates. But don't go anywhere. We have a final check of Weather Extra right here after the break. Well, would you look at that?
Well,
or is he looking at us?
This is not, we haven't converted Sky Vision to Game Vision or Critter Cam, but Tyler Young, I have actually shared hashtag Critter Cam. He has one of these cameras set up and a lot of turkeys out there. And you guys, I just want to let you know, this time of year, we're getting close to turkey season in Alabama.
Is that what it is? Because I'm like, buddy, you out a little early. November is several months away.
Okay, see, I thought this was a pic of y'all at the Barron Conference over the weekend.
Oh, no.
I thought that was just y'all having a good time up in North Alabama.
That's Wes in the back. That's me in the front.
Yeah, exactly. have you guys seen the little, the little turkey calls, the box calls? We'll have to bring all those in. I think folks will get a kick out of that one day. But
they're making me hungry. Gobble, gobble.
Tania, we still got several months till Thanksgiving.
I know.
We got some. Sorry. That feels offensive. Sorry, buddies.
Yeah,
but
let them enjoy their time.
I know.
Well, all the critters certainly enjoying some of this nice
do.
weather that we've had.
Absolutely.
And listen, tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. I mean, it's going to be very nice out there. We're talking about temperatures rising into the 70s during the afternoon. Let's go to the 7-day forecast. We got to watch Friday. We have a first alert weather day now because we're concerned that we could see some localized flooding in some areas, especially to the south. And there is an isolated tornado threat. That risk is a bit greater across South Alabama. So we got to watch that just in case it trends further north. It could change, certainly a few days to watch it.
But I know you'll have some new data coming up tonight on First at 9,
Absolutely.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, so check in with us. We'll see you later this evening on WVRC Fox 6 News.
I ain't either. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, this time of year the turkeys start gobbling.
Interesting. They get fat. Is that what you mean?
You know, they go gobble, gobble, gobble. They
Oh.
gobble. You know, birds lay their nest in the spring.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I forgot. Bell Media. I know, I forget. Which one? Oh, no! Where is this going? We never see it. And I don't know about you, but the gas stations I go to, I don't ever see a forecast. Maybe a little commercial, but I've never seen a forecast at a gas station. Now, doctor's office, I could see that, but that was funny. Tyler Young's gonna be happy because he asked me to share it. I know. Somebody vegan out there talking about nothing. All right, I'm ready. That is so funny. All right. Yep. And 3, 2. Hey there, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle here with a look at that 7-day forecast. Not bad day for your Thursday. We're going to see some sunshine with highs warming up into the mid to upper 70s. Partly cloudy skies, but increasing cloud coverage throughout the night. Thursday night and into your Friday. We have declared a first alert weather day for Friday and Saturday for the potential of strong and even severe storms for our southern counties, but also localized and flash flooding can be possible. Maybe up to 2 to even 4 inches of rainfall accumulation from that time period. Drying up Saturday evening and afternoon and then dry for our Sunday, but cooler air starts to build in. We'll see highs on Sunday really only in the low 60s. By Monday of next week, we've got a chilly morning, but highs in the 60s. Possibly mid to upper 60s. A cold Tuesday with highs back in the 70s, but at least we're dry for the start of next week. If you want more forecast updates and details on that rain and storm chance for the end of this week, check in with us for your forecast on WBRC Fox 6 News and also download the WBRC First Alert Weather app.